how's it going, film and TV fans, and happy Halloween. It's Halloween Day, and this is, of course, the Halloween special here on Off the Cuff Film Reviews YouTube channel. And of course, it being the Halloween special, I'm continuing what I started last year by reviewing the next installment in the reboot Halloween franchise. So last year I covered Halloween 18 and Halloween Kills. This year, it is just Halloween Ends, as it's the only one that's out, and anyway, we're talking about Halloween Ends today, which recently was released. So before we go any further, I will say spoilers for the ending of this movie will be said in this review. So yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, click off this video now, as there will be big fuck off spoilies. So this movie and this trilogy as a whole, actually, I think is better looked at as three separate stories that, well, at least technically 18 and Kills picking up almost immediately after, and then this one being a bit different. This is very different story to what's told in the previous two, and its version and idea of Michael Myers is incredibly different. Now, I know a lot of the fandom don't like this movie, but I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's an interesting take on Michael Myers as a character, as a spirit. However, I think the problem it has is that the ideas it went with here were never set up in the previous two, and it's evident that it's very evident that although the initial plan was to shoot Kills and Ends back to back, that is not what happened at all. Otherwise, the stories would have flown perfectly through, and that's not a problem for me, because I like the way this movie went. The idea of Michael Myers, of the whole idea of the town of Haddonfield is so broken and flawed, in that when they lost one killer, they were quick to find another one to have the same issues, to have the same problems. I know people explain it better than that, but the basic premise is that in this movie we have a character called Corey who essentially becomes the new Michael Myers, and everyone, he gets driven to the point where he becomes Michael Myers, not actually, but he becomes Michael Myers' accomplice in this movie. And that's a concept I actually really like, the whole idea that once the town lost their boogeyman, they had to find someone else to point the finger at, and they chose this guy Corey, which is really a shame because he was involved in an accident. At the beginning of the movie, you see this kid Jeremy dies in his care. It was a complete accident. You can clearly see that everyone believes that the guy killed him, and the whole town knows this kind of thing, and he gets bullied throughout the whole movie for it. He gets pushed off of a thing and he dies, and that's why we find Michael Myers and stuff like that. So it has very, very good ideas that I think personally should have been set up in the first two, having Corey as a background character and have a few moments where you see some of these things happening, so it could go throughout the entire trilogy. Evidently this obviously, I think it did stick the landing for the most part, but I think the whole idea that it was going for was a little bit faint, I think. And in all honesty, it had really cool new ideas, and it has really great music, because John Carpenter is fucking god when it comes to composing film scores. The performances are actually really good here as well, and some really interesting creative decisions. But I think the problem it suffers from really is that, like I said again, it's the whole idea of not setting these things up in the beginning of the trilogy. I think this is a good movie. I think this trilogy has been pretty fun. I think this is definitely better than Halloween Kills by a long shot, and I do like the idea of Michael Myers, of this town being so destroyed by the last 40 years of Michael Myers that they had to find someone else to basically become that person, and it's essentially the town that created Corey as a character and his untimely continuation of the Michael Myers spirit per se. Now, that all aside, we're going to talk about the ending now, because the way this movie ends is interesting. Now, you might be hearing this piece of music you're hearing is called The Procession, and that's because at the end of the movie, obviously going into this movie, everyone was like, one of these two guys is going to die. Is it Michael? Is it Laurie? Is it most likely going to be Laurie, because Jamie Lee Curtis says she's never coming back? But it's not Laurie that dies at the end of this movie. It is in fact Michael Myers. And I say that as in, like, he fully gets he gets put through. He gets stabbed a bunch of times, stabbed into the table, but to really fully make sure that he dies, he gets put through like a grinder, like a meat grinder kind of machine. I think it's at a garage place, so I think it's like a car crusher. Actually gets put through a car crusher, and the body gets completely fucking destroyed, so there's no way he's coming back, at least in this continuity. That's a very important thing to point out. in this continuity, because the point I like to bring up is that they say this is the last one, but there's already been 3 established timelines in which Michael Myers dies in pretty much every fucking one of them in some way, shape or form. So the point is, it could easily all happen again in 10 years time, in 15 years time, when it comes to the 50th anniversary of the franchise. Who fucking knows? At least for now and for a while, this will be the end of the franchise, as it will lay quiet for a little while. But I think this is an interesting way to conclude this trilogy. James Jude Courtney has been an interesting Michael Myers, along with help from Nick Castle. This is still a good movie, and I would still recommend it as a great watch on Halloween Eve. I'm personally going to the cinema to see The Thing this evening. It's going to be a fun one. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this review. This has been my thoughts and feels on the end of a trilogy and of a series that I actually really do enjoy. Every movie in this franchise far better than what shall not be named that I recently covered. And while this is a series that has been particularly more active than that particular franchise as of late, I think most of the Halloween movies are great fun. The whole franchise was fantastic to cover over the last 2 years. Obviously, I covered 1 through 5 last year, and I covered 6 through Zombie 2, and then this movie this year. So obviously that was Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, H2O, Resurrection, Rob Zombie's Halloween, and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, as well as this movie, Halloween Ends. I also covered Halloween 18 and Halloween Kills last year, and it is one of the best horror franchises. Doesn't personally hold a candle to Saw, for me personally, because that's my favourite horror franchise, and my singular favourite horror movie being the first one, but it's still a damn fucking good franchise. And that first movie is an iconic movie. I think the second movie is really, really good as well. And even I really, really like Season of the Witch as well. And hell, I think the fourth one's quite good. It's after 5 where things start to just go downhill a bit, I suppose. 5 and 6 were a bit wank. H2O is a good movie. H2O is a very good movie. Resurrection, fuck me. It's a terrible movie. Rob Zombie's movie, Rob Zombie's Halloween, fun film. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Halloween 18 and Kills, pretty good movies, and then we're here. So yeah, do expect a Halloween ranking and a Friday the 13th ranking coming very soon. Yeah, thanks so much for watching my review of Halloween Ends and the conclusion of the Halloween review series for at least until the next however long it takes for these movies to come out. It's been a blast to look through one of the most important horror franchises of all time, and I mean that this time, because it is far more influential and important than Friday the 13th will ever be, in my personal opinion. Sure, it's an icon, but it's not as influential as Halloween was. If there was no Halloween, there would be no Friday the 13th, and there would be no Nightmare on Elm Street. That is an undeniable physical fact. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and bye bye for now.